Stephanie White's latest comments on Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston have left the basketball world buzzing. She didn't just praise them, she spotlighted them like never before, hailing the two young stars as the best duo in basketball. This wasn't just an offhand compliment either. White's words seem to be a genuine recognition of two players who are shifting the very way fans, analysts, and athletes alike view women's basketball. There's an electricity in White's praise, an energy that tells us we're witnessing something special, something that might just redefine what it means to be exceptional in sports. And when someone like Stephanie White, with her deep understanding of the game, stops to celebrate players in this way, people listen. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston have both earned their spots in the spotlight, and in White's eyes, it's almost as if their combined influence doubles their impact on the court. Separately, they're forces of nature. Together, they create an even bigger storm. Clark, with her raw shooting talent and almost magnetic attraction to three-point territory, brings a level of excitement that feels unrestrained, spontaneous, almost chaotic in the best way. Boston, on the other hand, plays with a calculated power and presence, controlling the paint with a quiet authority that few can match. Watching them play is like seeing fire and ice. Clark, the spark, and Boston, the steady anchor. White's admiration for Clark and Boston isn't just about their individual abilities. Instead, she points to their synergy, their contrasting yet complementary styles, and how they seem to bring out the best in each other. Clark's game is fast, almost frenetic, full of long-range shots that have spectators holding their breath, wondering if she'll pull off yet another deep three. She plays like there's an invisible clock ticking in her head, one that moves a little faster than everyone else's. Meanwhile, Boston has a measured strategic style, a way of reading the court that's almost like she's staying a few steps ahead. Her presence under the basket is a given. She's there to dominate, to rebound, to shut down anyone daring enough to try and get past her. It's this blend, Clark's explosive energy and Boston's unshakable calm, that makes them such an extraordinary pairing. For White, the timing couldn't be better for these two young stars to rise. Women's basketball is experiencing a period of growth, with fans showing up and tuning in more than ever before. But the sport doesn't just need more fans. It needs players who can captivate, who can tell a story with their game, who can make people feel like they're watching something iconic. And Clark and Boston do just that. They're not just talented athletes. They're players who compel people to watch, who make even the casual basketball fan wonder what they might do next. White's excitement seems to come from a place of genuine belief that these two aren't just the future of women's basketball. They're its present. In her praise, White also seems to be nudging fans to appreciate the layers of Clark and Boston's games. For all of Clark's flashiness, there's a solid foundation of skill and discipline. She may love the spotlight, but she's not a show-off. Her flashy moves aren't there to impress. They're there because they work. Her three-pointers aren't wild guesses. They're calculated risks she's practiced to near perfection. And while Boston's style may look more restrained, anyone who's ever seen her play knows the quiet power she brings to every game. There's a fierceness in her restraint, a strength that doesn't need to shout to be noticed. White seems to be urging fans to look deeper, to appreciate that there's more to these players than what meets the eye. White's acknowledgement of Clark and Boston as a duo is more than just about two talented players sharing the spotlight. It's a celebration of what's possible when different styles come together. This isn't the first time basketball has seen iconic pairings, but there's something fresh here, something that feels like it could change the course of the sport. Clark's confidence, sometimes bordering on audacity, paired with Boston's consistency and precision, creates a partnership that's not just effective but exhilarating to watch. Their chemistry on the court feels organic, unforced, as if they instinctively know when to pass, when to push, when to step back and let the other shine. It's this balance, this mutual respect and understanding, that makes them such a formidable duo. For fans, seeing White, a former player and now a coach who's seen it all, get this excited about Clark and Boston is thrilling in itself. She's not one to throw out compliments casually, which makes her praise feel weighty, meaningful. White isn't just saying they're good. She's saying they're changing the game, and there's a sense that she's inviting fans to be part of this moment, to witness this transformation in real time. White's words carry the authority of someone who's been in the trenches of the sport, who knows what it takes to excel, and who recognizes greatness when she sees it. In a way, her praise feels like a passing of the torch, a recognition that Clark and Boston are stepping into roles that extend beyond just being star players. They're becoming leaders, faces of the game, athletes who have the power to shape how the sport is perceived. White's enthusiasm isn't just about what Clark and Boston bring to their teams. It's about what they represent for young players everywhere. Seeing two young athletes excel at this level sends a powerful message that women's basketball is a space where talent, grit, and resilience are celebrated, where players can express themselves fully on the court. Clark and Boston, with their contrasting styles and undeniable chemistry, embody this message. They show that there's no one way to succeed, no single path to greatness. Clark's daring high-risk plays and Boston's steady, disciplined approach are both equally valid, equally exciting. In highlighting them as a duo, White is reinforcing that there's room for all kinds of talent in basketball, that the sport is richer for its diversity of styles. But beyond the serious implications, there's a joy in White's praise that's infectious. She seems genuinely excited by the way Clark and Boston play, by the sheer unpredictability of it all. There's a sense that she, like the rest of us, doesn't always know what to expect from them, and that's part of the fun. White's admiration isn't just professional. It's the kind of admiration that comes from being a fan, from loving the sport and appreciating the artistry and spontaneity these players bring to it. She talks about Clark's long-range shots and Boston's defensive prowess like a kid who just witnessed a magic trick, a mix of awe and excitement that feels incredibly genuine. Her praise in this way becomes an invitation for fans to share in her excitement, to let themselves be amazed by what these players can do. In a broader sense, White's comments reflect the changing landscape of women's sports. The attention to hype, the genuine fandom that Clark and Boston are inspiring is a testament to how far the sport has come and how much potential it holds. White seems to see Clark and Boston as symbols of this progress, as players who are helping to push the sport into a new era. Her words don't just celebrate their talent. They celebrate what that talent means for the future of basketball. Clark and Boston aren't just making headlines. They're building legacies, paving the way for a new generation of players who will come after them, players who will have role models to look up to, players who will know that it's possible to be both incredibly skilled and unapologetically unique. What's perhaps most striking about White's praise is the sense of possibility it conveys. She sees in Clark and Boston not just what they are, but what they could become, not just what they're doing now, but what they might do in the future. It's almost as if White is daring them to keep going, to keep pushing the boundaries, to keep surprising us. Her words are filled with an optimism that's hard to ignore, a belief that we're only scratching the surface of what Clark and Boston can achieve. And for fans, there's something deeply exciting about that idea, that we're not watching a peak but a beginning, a foundation on which something truly spectacular can be built. In a world where sports are often defined by rivalries, by one-upmanship, by who can outdo whom, White's celebration of Clark and Boston as a duo feels refreshingly different. She's not pitting them against each other. She's lifting them up together, recognizing that their greatness is amplified when they're seen as part of a larger whole. It's a reminder that sports aren't just about individual accolades, but about the stories we create together, the connections we form, the way players and fans alike become part of something bigger. White's praise of Clark and Boston isn't just about two players excelling. It's about the power of collaboration, of mutual respect, of pushing each other to be better. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.